Hey guys, I'm Anthony.
And I'm Melody. We've got a range of cameras to cover in this episode, starting with some point and shoots. So you might have noticed how point and shoots have a lot more features nowadays than they used to in the past. So even non-professionals can take some pretty nice pictures with these little pocket cameras. And that's something we talked about earlier in another one of our segments on food photography.
Those were some very appetizing pictures.
Yes, all on a little point and shoot.
Would you believe it? So what we have here is the Cyber-shot WX9, which you've seen on Signal before. We were the first ones to show it to you at CES, and you saw it again in that food photography piece. Now we're going to take a look at how it compares to the Nikon Coolpix S6100 and the Canon PowerShot 300HS. Now, as of this taping, neither of these cameras has started shipping yet. We do have the Nikon S6000 and the Canon SD4000 here on set. These are earlier models, but keep in mind we're going to be talking about the new models just so you have the most up-to-date info.
All right, so all three of the cameras have the basic similarities. They're around the $200 to $300 price range, although I'd like to point out that the Nikon and the Sony are kind of the cheaper of the three. The Nikon is $199.99 and the Sony WX9 is $219.99. Now they all have about the same size LCD screen as well and a standard megapixel range. And just in case you don't really know what that means, the higher the megapixel, the higher the resolution that you can shoot with the camera. So basically what that means is sharper images and larger files that you can enlarge as a full picture or just section in on so you can zoom in and blow out the picture without losing any quality.
Yeah, they also have the same size image sensor. Optical zoom capabilities are similar as well, ranging from 5 times to 7 times, with Nikon's being the biggest. If you're looking for something with a lot of zoom, you probably want to consider high zoom models like Sony's H series, where the zoom is up to a 30 times range.
Yeah, and we talked about that in our last episode.
Yes, we did.
Really high zoom cameras. You're also going to want to check out the different shoot modes on each individual camera just to check out what's right for you.
So where do some of these cameras really start to differentiate? Well, Sony included a lot of features normally found on some of their more expensive models into the WX9, so for about $220 you get a lot of bang for your buck. Okay, so let's start with HD video. Nikon does 720-30p, Canon can do either 720-30p or 1080-24p, and the Sony can do up to 1920 by 1080-60i. So this is a clear advantage in terms of getting smoother video in either fast or slow motion.
Now, when it comes to low light shots, think about taking those pictures where a flash might impact the mood.
Sure.
And so you might want to keep a natural ambiance instead. All three cameras do really nicely in low light. So the WX9 actually took it a step further, and it has a handheld twilight or an anti-motion blur setting that you can use. So basically the camera will take up to 6 pictures in under a second and make 1 image out of the 6. So that's pretty cool. Now, why does this matter? It's a really nice extra help in preventing grainy or blurry photos in low light, which can be a big problem.
Sure. It's also the only one of these three to have press and sweep panoramic capability. So in these other models, you have to take a photo, stop, line it up, take a photo, stop, line it up, and then you have to use software on your computer to stitch it together. The WX9 lets you sweep the camera horizontally or vertically in one swoop, and it takes the photos and stitches it together for you automatically in the camera. It's also the only one of these cameras with 3D capabilities. So it can take 3D still images and 3D sweep panorama images. And when it captures a 3D MPO file, it also saves a 2D JPEG file, just in case you want to view it in 2D. This is really awesome. I'm just kind of falling in love with the 3D features because I have a 3D TV at home.
That's nice.
And when you watch these big 3D panoramas like sweeping across your TV, it's really cool.
Wow, it's a nice recap of the day.
So just a final note, the other two cameras from Canon and Nikon do have their own set of features, some unique to their brands and some similar to the WX9. Just do a little research on sites like CNET, Imaging Resource, and DP Review to make sure you're getting what you want and for the right price point.
And if you want to know more about the Cyber-shot WX9 in particular, it'll be available in April for about $220, and of course you can get it in red, silver, or black. All right, so hopefully we helped you do a little bit of the legwork so you'll have an easier time making a decision if you're shopping for a point and shoot.
To keep up with everything Sony makes, you can watch our shows at sony.com/signal or youtube.com/signal, where you can also leave your questions and comments. For now, this is Anthony and Melody for Signal by Sony.